October 7, 2019. We are here in the atom, and this is a very critical days. I'm recording this video after recording the World Weekly Astrology to Patreon, which will be also available in Wednesday or Thursday. You could see it right now there if you want. But I'm going to speak generally about the main scenarios that I see happening in the world and why it's so important and severe timing. So Pluto and Saturn right now moving direct. Pluto barely moving is just will start this week a little bit to move forward, but this is the countdown toward January when they will finally meet in 22 degrees of Capricorn. And what it means? That means that now, out of the station point of both Saturn and Pluto, we are going to start pay karmas. Each one will get rewards or punishments. But this is so much, and so many things are happening in the world and in the planets to explain those situations. Look in the UK. This month they need to make the Brexit happen. And then Hurricane Lorenzo. At the beginning they say that is going to be the coldest in 70 years. Interestingly enough, because Uranus cycle is around 70 years, and was what it did 70 years ago when it was in Taurus. But I said and posted, hopefully you saw, that it's not just 70 years, it's going to be the coldest in 500 years since Saturn Pluto. And now they are saying that this is the highest record. And probably October is going to be the coldest ever month. And it's a lot of snow that is going to happen in the UK. But now a lot of other crazy weather to happen in the US, also as predicted in the Northwest, and still nothing to what is waiting for us this winter. I'm telling and alerting that so many planets will be in Capricorn this January, together with Saturn Pluto conjunction. What do you expect? It will be easy all day, typical, as every day? Of course not. It will be hard to survive because Capricorn and Saturn itself is speaking about cold, about the timing that is freezing everything and trying to regenerate the status quo, Pluto. So now Pluto is just starting to move direct. It seems to me that it's going to be a sort of a scenario that, more than that, just the fact that now even science is supporting it, that we are going into a mini ice age, that some big areas in the world are going to be frozen, and then in March, very symbolical, the beginning of the spring, but also Saturn will move to Aquarius. So it will start a period of earthquakes, very severe one, or even maybe some peninsulas to break. And I remember that last winter in the Northwest, people heard a lot of noises from the soil after being frozen, and the cracks started to create different power and structures. But let's come back to this week. This week, more than just the importance of what here in Israel we are celebrating Yom Kippur, that's considered to be a very religious, but religious because of, the people that are going to synagogue and praying is like from fear for all the sins they did. And it's like the judgment that God now is going to bless their year ahead or not. But the story of the stars, the planets now, is so aligned with the symbolism of Yom Kippur. So I'm not religious, but I'm just because of this symbolism, I'm emphasizing it that much. Chiron is going to oppose Aries. Chiron, let's say it differently. Aries is opposing Chiron because Aries is the movement fast, and Aries and Mars is now in Libra. Chiron is in Aries. This aspect by itself is hard, is painful, and very militant. This week, those days, Mercury is going to oppose exactly Uranus in 5 degrees. Only those two oppositions themselves are telling about turbulent, massive change. Uranus is retrograded in Taurus now, and Mercury in Scorpio. That is all about the information to get revealed. We just spoke generally in the background that Uranus started to retrograde 2 months ago, that is going to start a phase until January, because it will retrograde exactly until the day that Pluto and Saturn will meet. Could you believe the alignment? So when Uranus is retrograde, it is going to put out all the dirt and all the lies and all what led to misalignment, misjustice. Now, when Mercury will oppose it, it's already a big sign here that big important news about the social media, about news that will reveal from the dark to the outer, to the society, and speak about Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, that exactly right now, in the same period of the year of the existence, are in investigation. Something that is like so weird and overwhelming, right? And speak about it that Benjamin Netanyahu, ruled by Venus, is Libra. He has birthday this month. And Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, Trump. And they were all going along together until Mercury, Trump entered to Scorpio, investigation, and Trump still in hearing process. And something also is going to happen. This is just a representer of what is happening in it, and it's a real thing to worry. I'm smiling because I'm trying to be always optimistic, and luckily I have positive aspects with such this crazy things that are happening in sky to my planets. But this is going to turn on a very unbelievable scenarios. Of course, war is something very direct, straightforward we can think about, but it could be much beyond this. We need to consider that Uranus of Iran is in 22 degrees, so it will be triggered very much with the social revolution there. We see the weakening of the Saudi Arabia. We see the stop of conversation between North Korea and the United States. They have so many disrupts on the same moment. How to engage with all this? In this winter, it will be so cold and so difficult to engage. And of course, this is the moment of start of a recession. It will start already this November, next month. We are going this month to the peak of the economy we led in the last 10 years. But what will happen before the crash will be what happened to a very sick person before dying, that suddenly 2 days before is looks like get improved, starting to speak, starting to move. So it will move a lot probably, and 3100 in S&P is very logical. I was very calm seeing the last snap correction that took us in the first days of the month, and I gathered my members with the projection that are having. I'm not touching, I'm not updating, it's going. Sparks, I'm not predicting. Any machine in the world predicting spikes, but it will continue to go with my average line, because long-term prediction I'm considered to be average line. So really, how to get prepared with each one according to his natal chart to understand what needed to be considered now. North Node is in Cancer, so the direction is to think about being safe and think about being connected to what consider for you home and not slavery of work or extra loans and other uh, needs, how you want people to see you. Just be yourself, connect to your real authenticity as a child. This is the message of North Node in Cancer. So Mars opposing Chiron, and in a such pole axis, Libra, Aries, Libra, trying to negotiate. But Mars doesn't like to be in Libra, and Chiron is speaking about trying to find new resources to ourselves, to our identity. And this is in a big crisis now. Who I am. Even countries should ask this. Who I am. This is really what I thought to myself, that I'm a worker for government, that I'm doing this or other. This is start now a big quest and judge inside us too. Uranus is Mother Nature now responding with us and will awakening all of us through non-easy situation, because if it will be easy you will not move your ass, you know this, right? So now people in a very heavy cold freezing in the UK and in such uncertainty will find new solutions maybe, but later it will come to another places, and we see how the violation of protest in many countries. Now in Iraq they lift their head, and in other places, and the yellow vests are not scanning this too much in the media, but the violation of people, the violation level is rising, and it's still the last edge of this illusion phase that we are coming out after the full moon in Pisces we just had last month, and with the last square of Pluto, of Jupiter to Neptune. In the 14th of the month, we are having a full moon in Aries. Again, Aries. Aries is militant, is about beginning, and it's a culmination process of what started last April, last March. New moon in Aries, the beginning of April. So what we had, crypto suddenly rose, started something, and the stock market already started from um, from January to correct, but from March, it's already become something else. So this is a culmination of any, I don't know, strategy. Still, from full moon to new moon on the same axis, we can get a lot of information. So if we're going next to 6 months from this full moon, we will get to the area between middle of March to middle of April. And there I really see ourselves in a new zone in life. Like something huge is happening in the world. I see already war is really happening already somewhere, or a real modification that we cannot even believe and understand. It will be already a real risk. I think that the winter will be a sort of frozen shock, freeze, and then from March you will start to hear all the of ice starting breaking. So of course it will be related to some big ices cracking, or maybe doing some tsunamis or doing other damages. But this is something that we must consider. Saturn will enter to Aquarius, coming from the frozen sign that is ruling, and will gather so many planets around him. In January, this 2020, it's a new decade. And we understand that we need to go to the era of Aquarius, to a brand new world. How we will get to a new world of equality and beauty and spirituality and ability to communicate with another level, if we could, if we will continue maintain the same abusing way of nature, buying the same product, the same plastic, the same sweet. People are addicted to sugar and to so many other things that are making you sick. And this is all the Neptune thing now, that is the pharmacy industry, that is so worrying. People are sick and very much now disconnected somehow from nature, from the natural resources. And this is a big message that the world wants to take us. So don't worry just about money. How I will trade this? How I will trade this? Because if tomorrow the US dollar isn't value as it's now, you are in another situation. And how your trade is influencing if you are suddenly passing an area without electricity for a long time, for 1 month and a half without electricity, or other big servers are going to be shut off, if you are not having enough fresh water to your home. You need to think about the other thing. This is why Northwood in Cancer telling you to focus on basic things. And this will be the wealth. People in the 50s, 60s were more happy with less. And now we are in the malefic. We are explaining this south node, Saturn, Pluto, and now going there. This is now the end of the capitalism. This month, with the full moon in Capricorn, I consider to be the peak of the US sovereignty. From this point, and according to the natal chart of the US, I see a lose of control. And it will be uncontrollable, impossible to control. Because suddenly, when you are managing this sanction on here and this sanction on there, even the US already lost control on the Middle East by trying to show someone like Iran what to do in case that they are, I do what I want to do. And they can't, because they understand what may come after this and what they want more to achieve before. Really, it's a really complicated timing and situation now, and we are still in Libra. We are still can think harmonically and start to put things in the right or the left, but we are already literally entering to Scorpio, and Scorpio is, let's go now to the tunnel. It's dark. My North Node is in Scorpio. I born to lead people in the dark. When people are not very much, are in crisis, my mission is starting to come here. Like nurse in hospital would do another important thing. But I'm here to see the future and to guide people to come after me to where, because I can see in the dark. This is my mission of life. This is the design of my soul, to North Node in Scorpio, to see beyond the dark and in hard ways. This is a moment that you need really to pack, to put things, what you have. Everything is working for you. What in case of, in case of, in case of. Some will say fear is illusion, it's all fine. But you cannot say this, because everything, even that's finally with the worst dramatic events you had in your life, finally you can laugh on it and tell the story. But when you are in a drama, when you are in an accident in airplane, before the emergency landed, and finally you could tell this story, you must to pass the panic. You must to be part of all this, because otherwise you will not survive. Then you become stronger from the fear. But there are basic fears that we must to fear of, not of just losing money. This is about how to protect your most important thing. This is why the North Node, this is why Cancer is ruling fears. But the fears of the baby, that is very, a fear to be far from his mother, a fear for being far from home and not being able to come back, or something like this. We all have safe places. We all can think about where is safe. And that is not the logic way, simple way, yeah, I'm going home. In my case, being specifically in one home or other is not giving me feel of safe. Is where I'm connected to a place that I feel that I have advantages, like being in a place that is relatively cheap to live. And this is what my experience that I had and found as a beautiful revelation in Serbia this summer. And I'm going to come back there during November to spend there the time. That's what I was guided and very much aligned with my natal chart. But each one can find where and how to put the things to keep them safe, like the animal is hiding some bones for emergency, that you know where you put the things. Money in the banks right now is very risky. You remember the video, you can go back to this, from May that I said in the beginning of May, new moon in Taurus, how much money you need and all this possessive, because May Taurus was about managing my funds. Now it's about managing your investing and how you take power by knowledge or by another abilities to convert your money or your wealth to another thing, how to hide it, and how to invest in the next level. This is not about opening my account. Oh, I have this portfolio. I'm happy with this. And this is my safety. You could not base on it now. And you will see the fear that will come and will rise during November will be exactly triggering this security and will favorizing those that are following confidence, that believe and following what they are guided with, and lead less, but having the potential of like having what is worth, what is more worth to have. 70 kilos of gold or a key that is maybe cost $20 to a cave of a gold mine. Of course, you cannot have all this gold mine, but you can take people and say, look, come. I have the gold and I have the key and I can take you and I can guide you to take. I'm not going to take you there. I'm just going to inform you how to get rich or to take more than what you thought usually to have. And I will guide you how to have your part. The knowledge is valuable, or anything that no one can take from you. Your talent is valuable, that you can convert to barter, to another service, is more valuable than just having a final result of a thing and thinking that this will protect you until the end. Yeah, they will tell you it's cold now. It's not cold at all. After December, January, wow. But end of November, Jupiter already moving to Capricorn. It's already end of energy, fire energy. So it will be already start of freezing. And very hard to buy basic things. I told 2 weeks ago, you need computer, buy computer now. You need things, convert your money, the potential of buying, to buy at least the thing that will save you. that will improve you, that will be aligned with your talent, with your ability to regenerate yourself. Chiron in Aries wants you to take responsibility on yourself and don't expect government to pay you unemployment fee. This is each one for himself in order to find the resources, not just because of egoism. The opposite, we're going to collective, to Uranus and Taurus, to finally communities, and speak about the North Node will move to Gemini around March again. North Node in Gemini. It will be all about communication. Do you have the information or not having the information? Are you intelligent enough or not? And changing environments, of course. All the environment will change. And the G5 and all this, all the communication will be in big saga. And they will try to control maybe all the social media or whatever. So many things. Let's focus a little bit on now. Just tune to yourself. This is a very deep moment of recalculation, realignment with spirit. And this is really last call here. Because from here, the momentum to take a change is very much becoming difficult. This is all for now. My inspiring burst to share with all of you. Thank you, and follow my website peopleknowing.net or in Patreon if you are a trader in commodities, oil and gold, or in crypto. It's patreon.com/astrofinance. Bye.